Alright, we are back again. Yeah. So we're coming from Bomberman. We are now going for like maybe a less explosive game, even if this game has like burst in the name. The burst only comes from the enemies anyway. So yeah. So I I'll be able to explain all the things about this game while we go on. So let's go. Well, I believe we haven't met the incentive for hard mode. So yeah, alright, so we're just gonna be sticking with normal then. This game has 2 difficulties and has a lot of DLC characters, and we are going to play as Ray. So, yeah, the time starts as soon as I pick up the characters. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, yeah, this game is called Mighty Gunvolt first, because this game is actually a crossover game between Mighty Number 9, the Mighty Number 9 universe, and the Gunvolt universe. And there is also a little bit of Galgun as well, which is Inchi Creates game. So this game, all the DLC's characters in this game are from either Gunvolt or Mighty Number 9 or even Galgun itself. So we are playing as Ray. Ray is kind of similar to Zero from Mega Man. She basically got this little bit of a slash that we can combo together to deal more damage. And yeah, now I'm going into a little bit of a detour here to grab this CP up. And the CP ups are mandatory in the route that we are doing right now, because this game has a huge upgrade system that we can pretty much customize everything about our shots. And upgrades in this game have some weird names, unfortunately. I didn't really memorize them myself, but oh, did we got any issues? Oh, okay. There we go. All right, so coming up, we have the first boss. This is the ground digger. Or is him? Oh yeah, his name is Ground Digger. So this boss has a lot of RNG involved. We don't want the boss to jump during the fight. He jumped once, which is actually perfectly fine. So yeah, that was an average RNG. Normally we want Ground Digger to stay as close to the floor as possible. That way we can do a lot of damage to him very fast. And as I said, Ray has this pretty interesting combo system going on that we can combo slashes together, and that deals more damage than the average shot. Speaking of shot, I'm gonna be actually doing a huge customization here. I'm gonna have normal shots, and I'm gonna make my shoot. I'm gonna make the shoot that I have here a little bit weaker than usual. The reason for that is because we are not going to rely on the basic shot in this run. We're just going to be using the cloud slashes until later in the run where we get more points to be able to use more stuff. A little bit of damage boost here to be able to burst through this enemy shield. And this level kind of reminds of Spark Mandir stage in a couple ways from Mega Man, and it's kind of dark. Though we can still see a little bit of the level, so it's not too big of a deal. Just gonna wait a little bit here so that enemy goes away. If we get knocked back by that enemy, it's not going to be good because we're gonna be falling into that pit. And we don't want that to happen. So yeah, another important upgrade, a major upgrade in the run, which is damage upgrade. We have damage. So damage is, yeah, I don't know, like it literally increases our damage. So yeah, I don't know how else to explain this, but it increases the damage of everything that we have. So we want to have as much damage as we can during this run. So we grab that item just to be able to deal more damage later on. And this is actually going to come in handy on the end of the game as well, on the refights. So now I have Dynatron. Dynatron, just like the intro stage boss, is a little bit of RNG on what she does. We want her to stay on the floor, throwing those electrical things at us, just chilling on the ground, and sometimes she decides to go up. Unfortunately, we cannot deal damage to her if she decides to do that. So yeah, one air. She didn't got too much air time in this run, so that's pretty good. Again, average RNG. The biggest, the biggest reset point in this game is actually the entire run, really, because all the bosses in this game have a lot of RNG. So like the better you get at this game, it gets more and more complicated to like grind. At least for Ray, because unfortunately Ray relies, at least earlier, she relies a little bit on the boss's RNG to be able to quick kill them. So now we are on Radio Tower. So Radio Tower, we are going to get another major upgrade, which is knockback resistance. And as the name says, this is... Alright, I'm trying to figure... Oh, alright. I didn't know which bottom I had to swap for right there. But that's fine. So we got knockback resistance. I'm just gonna quickly show you here what knockback resistance does. It reduces the knockback resistance of it gives us knockback resistance through any kind of damage. Though damage boosting with Ray is not as safe as it would be. I mean, damage boosting is not usually safe on a speedrun, but with this specific character can be a little bit more complicated because she keeps losing health over time, which is something about this character that I haven't mentioned. Like her passive ability is the dangerous core. Since she is an unstable robot, her core is constantly in danger, so she's always like losing health, and she needs to absorb other robots' powers to be able to survive. So yeah, basically she plays kind of like a vampire, pretty much. So yeah, Aviator is pretty simple. We just combo slash him over and over, and the boss is pretty much done. Simple as that. So now we're finished Radio Tower. We are going to the main stage. And I should also mention about the route of this game that we are doing a specific route because we want to make sure that we have enough upgrades to quickly kill the bosses. So the reason we are going to mine now is since we remember that I created a secondary upgrade slot with more damage. The boss in this level, he's a little bit more tankier than the other bosses. So having a little bit more damage to deal with him is actually more optimal. So that's why we went to a couple stages before him. And yeah, it just makes a lot of sense because we are going to also have knockback resistance in this level. Knockback resistance is really, really useful in a lot of sections in this level. Mainly the upcoming section. This section here is actually, it's not really that useful, but this section here, you can just jump here and... Yeah, I'm gonna grab this health just for safety. Normally I wouldn't grab that health, but... Yeah, we're on a very risky situation right now. So I'm gonna swap to the thing there. I'm gonna be careful to not kick into those enemies here. Hopefully I can... Oh, I didn't got a good cycle. So that's the thing about this level. This level has a global cycle going on. As soon as you enter the level, those platforms start going down. So yeah, you gotta make a perfect execution of this level to be able to get the earliest possible cycle there. There's some backup options, but they're kind of risky. Like you can go over the top of that platform. So this boss fight, we want him to give you to give us a fist, like the fist bump attack, because it's actually faster. We got a little we got a little bit unlucky with some attacks, but other than that, it was an okay fight. So yeah, as you guys noticed as well from both Radio Tower and this boss, whenever a boss reaches like half of their health, they are going to go for a desperate attack. That usually wastes us a little bit of time for some bosses. So that's why we want to have as much damage as we can, because that's actually going to be more optimal against those type of bosses. That's why we want to have a little bit more damage for this guy, because he he is really tanky. Like, he is the boss with the hugest amount of health of the bunch. So yeah, this level there is a way to like get a good like the ultimate cycle in this level, but I'm on a complicated situation right now, so I'm gonna just gonna play it safe. And there you go. That was the tricky part, because yeah, just like every classic Mega Man game, the spikes in this game are insta death. So we don't want to touch the spikes at all during the run, because the spikes basically kill you instantly. So I'm just gonna be a little bit careful here to not take damage. Wait for the cycle here. Also, something pretty nice about this game, you can mash ladders. You don't have to wait for the character to just climb the ladder. It's just pretty neat. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bad luck there. This boss fight, the attack pattern that we want from her is the baseball pattern. So yeah, she just decided to use her shields, and yeah, unfortunately that's a bad RNG that we couldn't really do much about it. So now we are heading to Capital Building. Capital Building, I would say that this is not a particularly complicated level, but if you want to do it fast, then it can become a huge problem. And at first, I'm gonna grab an important upgrade now on the right here. So I'm gonna be grabbing the Diagonal Fire, which is going to be pretty useful here. And I'm gonna do a retry. I was still trying to figure the bottom, because I use a very like different setup to be able to mash and stuff, and sometimes I keep forgetting about my control setup, but it's fine. So what I did there was a retry, and retrying is actually faster in that section, because if you retry in that section, you don't have to go back and wait for those platform cycles. So it saves, I would say that it saves like 9 to 15 seconds. Never really calculated, but it saves something close to that if you have fast menuings. So now there's a little bit of a skip here that I'm gonna try to go for. I wanna jump in this platform at the right time. Not platform though, that bomb, and I used the fact that we kick from enemies when we jump over them, when we dash onto them, to give me some extra height, so we can just skip that section. It's easier than it looks, to be honest. Like, it's not really that hard to do that thing, but it's pretty fun to execute. So now we lower down the security level of the area, which is the main gimmick of this stage. You need to raise down the security level, and then we are going to the final area. So this final area can be a little bit tricky, and oh my god, I called it. All right, that can happen. So if you're going fast in this area, sometimes you don't realize that you're gonna be hurt by an enemy. And yeah, I'm just gonna play it safe now. I'm gonna kill everyone, and yeah, and then we can call it a day. There you go. That's a more safer execution. So now we have Counter Shade. Counter Shade is, yeah, he is very interesting because if he decided to just go to the top of the ceiling, there isn't much that we can do about that. And that was a good RNG considering that I died at the beginning of the. Actually, I died in the middle of that section, but that was a good RNG regardless. So now we are heading to the military base. The military base is another very interesting level. Actually, all the levels in this game are kind of interesting, mechanic-wise. But this one also had another major upgrade. And you see that I'm actually going to be turning this level into a score attack run, because I'm gonna be killing a lot of enemies in this level. But the reason I'm doing that is because it's actually faster to do so. Because the item upgrade that we are going to get here is the Collapse Ray. And the Collapse Ray is an upgrade that deals damage based on two factors. The amount of damage that you have, your damage multiplier, which right now we have 105, and the amount of combo that you have. So optimally, we want around 30 combo here. Just gonna use this opportunity to equip aerial attack, and then we are going to go for Collapse Ray right now. So now we have 3 dashes and Collapse Ray, and this is actually going to be pretty useful. Hopefully I don't die here. Okay, 30 is a good number. Less than that can be a little bit risky. So now we have Battalion. And I'm gonna try to set up for the quick kill and I'll explain if I get it. Okay, I paused. That's... So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to deal as much damage as I can to this guy, because as I said earlier, the bosses have desperate attacks, but if we deal just enough damage to them, the boss will never be able to do their desperate attacks. And this saves 20 seconds, so that's why even if you lose a little bit of time setting it up, you get it all back on the boss. So it's actually more optimal to do so. So now Oil Platform. Oil Platform is... yeah, this level is kinda complicated because there isn't many enemies that we can kill in this level to be able to quick kill the boss, but the boss doesn't have as much health, so we're still gonna be killing a couple enemies in this level as well, just to be able to set up the quick kill in the boss. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of a skip here, grab this health, you know, just gonna be safe. And then we wait for water to raise. The enemy is a little bit out of place. He's running away, that's not good. Alright, we have 18. We usually want 27. So I think I'm a little bit low on numbers here. Yeah, I think 28 is actually a good number. It should be, but I do need a little bit of a good luck in this boss. So hopefully I can pull this off. This one is a little bit more trickier than the others. So Pyrogan, we want to mash as much as we can in this guy. So there is a more safer setup that you can do that it basically involves like using two of those attacks. So right now he's going to the middle. I think I'm not going to be able to do it. Alright. Yeah, I think I was like 3 hits away. Yeah, 5 hits. That's kind of risky, but we still managed to pull off, so... Yeah, normally we want to skip this attack, but unfortunately, I didn't got it. It's way more complicated than it actually looks. Like, this one is not the easiest one, for sure. Also, now we have Highway. Highway is kind of like... I would say that this stage is... Compared to the other stages, this is actually a very relaxing stage. Because there isn't really anything particularly hard about this stage. There is no, like... I was going to say that there is no bottomless pits, but there is, but though you need to actually go out of your way. So unless you're like hunting secrets, this level is a cakewalk, speedrun wise. Also, this is the easiest level to get a full combo, like to get like almost 50 combo. So if you like combos, this is the level for you. We want to have 30 though. Like, I said that I collapse Ray Scales with combo, so you guys may think, wow, you should be as well getting as much combo as you can in this level, but oh my god, I fell down. All right, so it has, how can I say? I think it's like a hard cap of 30. So if you have more than 30, you're not going to get more damage. So I have 30 or 40 is actually the same thing in the end, so it's not worth it to go for it. So I'm just gonna see what this guy does. Okay, he slashes, so that means that he's gonna go for the double blades. There we go. That's the quick kill. This quick kill is a little bit easier because this guy, he gives you a huge window to hit him. So it's pretty like, it's pretty generous. Like the level itself is pretty like it's pretty easy, and the boss itself is as easy. So yeah, it's a little bit of a combo for the storm until the final levels though. Now we have the final set of levels in the game. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna be upgrading my damage to 2.0, and I'm doing that because yeah, we gotta do more damage basically. So now I'm gonna be trying to set for the 0 cycle here. Alright, there we go. This cycle is pretty, like, it's pretty tight, because if you miss a single movement there, it makes the cycle harder to get, so... Yeah, this is the hard part of the level. Now we have the rings. Luckily, we are not going to be grabbing too many rings here. I mean, yeah, this section we will, but they're not auto-scroller-ish like the previous ones. So this section here, I'm gonna do a little bit of a hop here, just to be able to reach the top of that ring faster. There's another skip in this section here that I'm gonna try to go for. There we go. This is actually a little bit more harder than it looks, because if you jump, like if you jump lower than I did there, you will probably die. Or you would not have enough time to close the gap. So yeah, that jump is pretty risky, but... So now we have back from ID number 9. That was not a good fight because he decided to go left and right. Now we have Subspace. So we are basically on the final set of levels in this game. So Subspace, this level has water physics. Because, yeah, since it's a subspace level, they decided to... Yeah, if it is a subspace, let's make it look like a subspace by giving water physics, which, to be honest, I feel like it's a pretty neat touch. Like, it really feels like a subspace. Though on the speedrun, this level is very complicated to maneuver thanks to the water physics. So I'm gonna do a damage boost here, just to save that tiny amount of time here. This auto-scroller here doesn't start until I trigger it from the ladders. So yeah, I need to be here as fast as possible because this is a local cycle. So I did a jump on the left there just to manipulate that enemy. And I have just the right amount of health to be able to damage boost. That's just how tricky this section is. So yeah, speaking of tricky sections, this section here, I'll go for a little bit of a skip here. So normally you would have to wait for all those cycles to go up and down. But if you have a good movement, like if you got a good setup up there, you can skip all of them. Also, meet the hidden hitbox, the boss. As you guys may see, this boss, he's supposed to have a shield, but we have claws that are big enough to pierce shields, so we don't care. And there goes Subspace. Now we are going to Dystopia. Dystopia is the final platforming level of the bunch, and it has only one complicated section, but I'm gonna play it safe there to make sure that nothing bad happens there. So Dystopia, the screen is going to look a little bit weird here, and that's the main gimmick of this level, distortion. Yeah, I said about playing safe as I'm pretty much damage boosting everywhere, but it's fine. There's like a little, there's like some hearts right here. Those fires, they are not RNG. They are based on your position, so that's why I'm doing a kind of specific movement there to manipulate the fires so they don't hit me. You can do that manipulation a little bit faster and more optimally, but since I was a little bit low on health, I didn't want to risk it. Gonna grab more CP upgrades. The reason I'm grabbing that many CP upgrades is that I really wanna be able to equip damage upgrades, so we wanna have free damage until the final boss and refights. So I'm gonna go for a retry here. Also, another fun thing about retrying, not only it brings you back to the checkpoint, but it also gives you full health. So yeah, if you're having problems, if you're having trouble playing this game, you can just retry, and you know, you're just gonna lose bonus. You're just gonna lose score by doing that. But in the speedrun, since we don't really care too much, we don't really care about scores, unless it's like related to manipulation and stuff. We can do that as a safe strat. And now we have Plasma Legion, which she is, yeah, a boss that doesn't really like compensates for how hard this level is. This final section. This fight here, we can basically finish Plasma Legion before she even tries to do her special attack. And that's 2 minutes and 10 subs Dystopia. Usually, like, if I'm going for more risky strats here, can usually get sub 2. So that's how hard this level is to optimize. Like sub 2 is the more optimal time, but 210 for a marathon, we did save strats and stuff. It's still a really nice one. So now we are on the final, on the true final level. Now we have the refights. We cannot have a Mega Man game if we don't have refights. So yeah, the only refight that I want to concentrate a little bit on is the first two. So this one actually not only concentrate, but I also need to cross my fingers for him to give me a good RNG. Because if he decides to go to the left, it's pretty much over. Yeah, I got that RNG. And now I got to see his special attack. Yeah, this boss, if he goes to the left, it makes his quick kill way much harder to do. Because you need to calculate your damage very well to be able to do so. Now I have Battalion. Battalion, let's hope he doesn't jump. If he doesn't jump, if he only gives us minions, that would be good. Hopefully. So yeah, I wanna do a specific amount of damage to him, and as soon as he lands, I'm gonna finish him. Easy as that. And now we basically finished both of the most trickier bosses. And yeah, the refights are pretty much going to be the same thing. So again, if we do have any donations now, that's a very good time to read them as well. Also, we do a lot of damage to the bosses as well, so we don't really care too much about their attacks. Oh, just 1 health. Yikes. That was kind of sad. I almost had it there. Yeah, those refights are actually the reason that we went for all those damage upgrades. Because since we take a while to kill bosses in this game, we might as well get more damage. Alright, 3 more bosses to go. Yeah, those bosses are melting like ice cream right now. It just shows how strong this character is on the late game. Unfortunately, we have to deal with a lot of RNG. Speaking of which, we got a really good one. There we go. So now Seismic. Oh, he gives a spin. Well, that's fine. Now we have final boss. We have Counter Shade. Counter Shade. Again, it depends a little bit of RNG. Alright, there we go. We have the final boss. So the final boss is Teseo. Teseo is a pretty like interesting boss. He's actually from Gunvolt 2. Not gonna get into much detail about his character, but more of the fight. So first off, we are facing the clone version of us. So the Ray clone is actually purplish, which is kind of neat. All characters in this game they have a purple, not a purple, a clone version of them, and each one of them look different, and they have different patterns. So now we are on the final boss. The final boss is basically Sigma from Mega Man X, and we're basically going to be just mashing as fast as we can, so we can just finish the boss. So this is the first phase. So when Teseo starts the second phase, he's really going to get huge, going to 2.0, woo and everything, and yeah, he's about to do it. Too bad that we have a lot of damage. And yeah, so that was the final phase. So get ready on time as soon as the screen starts, as soon as the screen fades to black. So time. Yeah, basically is a huge reference to Nico Nico as well, because that's the idea of the boss fight, is that like he's recording and streaming and people are like watching him fight you. And there you go, that was Mighty Gunvolt Burst. That was like 35-ish time. I forgot to stop my timer as well, but I think, yeah, 27, which I think for a marathon is a good time. I ended up dying like once in a run and did for a lot of safe strats at the end, but yeah, 35. Pretty happy with this time. And anyway, that were my runs for today. I hope everyone is having a good time on the marathon, and thanks everyone for having me on the marathon. I'm really glad to run those games. And yeah,